For me, freedom is not the ability to choose between 100 restaurants, clubs, or office buildings. Freedom means being able to decide where I live, how I work, and with whom I spend my life, yet an increasing share of the population lives in large cities. Not necessarily because everyone consciously chose this lifestyle, but because economic power is concentrated in a few places. Major companies, universities, and institutions are based in metropolitan areas where jobs are created and infrastructure is concentrated. Anyone who wants to build a career or improve their financial situation is indirectly pushed toward the same cities. This creates a self-reinforcing cycle. People move to cities because that is where the jobs are, and jobs concentrate in cities because that is where the people are, but this process comes at a cost. In many countries, the cost of living has been rising steadily for years, especially housing. In major German cities, rents have increased significantly since the 2010s, while energy, food, and general living expenses continue to rise. For many people, an increasing share of their income is spent simply on housing. The longer I think about this, the more absurd it seems. Why should my life depend so heavily on having to tie my work to a specific place? Why should I be forced to live in a major economic hub just to earn enough money for my next vacation? Why does a person spend most of their life in a place they constantly want to leave in order to feel free at all? This is where, for me, the real question of freedom begins, because the problem with big cities is not only high rents or overcrowded streets. It is also a social problem. Studies on urban quality of life show that in large metropolitan areas, feelings of loneliness and social isolation occur disproportionately often despite high population density. Cities like Tokyo, Seoul, and Shanghai are frequently described in research and surveys as environments where people are surrounded by millions yet still feel isolated. The concept of urban loneliness is now well established in social research as a paradox of modern urban life. At the same time, data from many industrialized countries suggests that social insecurity and economic pressure are increasing in urban environments. Rising living costs, especially housing, mean that more and more people must spend a large share of their income just to cover basic needs. Over time, this reduces personal freedom and reinforces a sense of stagnation and lack of perspective. In Germany, this pressure is also reflected indirectly in the social security system. Several million people receive basic income support or similar state benefits. These numbers are not just individual cases, but an indication of how closely economic structures and living costs are intertwined. The key point is not only how much someone earns, but where and how that income is generated. As long as income is tied to a physical workplace, work indirectly determines where you live. True freedom only emerges when income is decoupled from location and can be generated in a decentralized way. Today, it is already possible to earn money online and work remotely. At the same time, the cost of living varies drastically around the world. In some countries, you can live very well with significantly less money. If you have a location-independent income, you can take advantage of these differences and choose where to live instead of being forced to move where the jobs are. This completely changes the logic. It is no longer the job that determines where you live, but your lifestyle that determines your choice of country. This is exactly why this way of life now feels almost rebellious. In the past, the big city was seen as a symbol of freedom, diversity, and opportunity. Today, I often feel that true freedom lies in not being dependent on it. I want to create content I actually care about. I want to talk about topics that interest me. I do not want my income tied to a single location. I do not want to wait for permission to design my own life. Many people love big cities. They enjoy the energy, the diversity, and the constant movement. There is nothing wrong with that. For me personally, freedom feels different. Freedom means silence instead of constant noise, space instead of crowds, nature instead of concrete. Perhaps real progress is not about building ever larger, cities and concentrating more people into economic centers. Perhaps real progress is about giving people the ability to build self-determined lives regardless of location. In the end, only one question remains for me. If technology allows us to work from anywhere in the world, why do we still live as if we all had to commute to the same city every morning?